Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. That's right. It's already Monday. That was a quick weekend, was it not? All right, whatever. Just another day. So, over the weekend, I received the Rg Vita Pro. Now, I ordered this directly through Anbernic, and I don't do that very often because of their really high shipping price. But when I ordered it, I was having issues with Go Game Geek, which they're working on solving that. They reached out and they're actually being kind of cool about it. I'll fill you guys in on that later. But I ordered straight through Anbernic, and I figured since I'm going to pay a high shipping cost, might as well buy from the U.S. warehouse. Because I was really curious. I never bought from the U.S. warehouse, and I wanted to know, was the handheld actually in the U.S., or would I order it and they would drag their feet sending tracking? The tracking would say, order received, awaiting package. And a week later, all of a sudden a package is moving, which meant it came from overseas. They just didn't update tracking to make it look like it was in the U.S. warehouse. That is not the case. Immediately, I show it was in New Jersey. Next day, it was on the move from New Jersey towards me. 4 days later, it's in the mail. So paying the $20, $30 for in-country shipping, which is ridiculous, is now a little more worth it now that I know the item really is in the U.S. I'll pay that little bit extra to have it in 4 days compared to 8 to 14 days. So, let's jump into the handheld. So I got it, showed up in the mail, opened up the box. Now the box wasn't your typical white generic Anbernic box, which I'm used to that box. I'm okay with that box. Don't really feel the need to change it. But they did. And it made it look like a really cheap, Temu electronic. The box is poorly designed. But I don't care about the box, right? Who does? I don't even do unboxings on this channel because we already know what's in the damn box due to the title of any video I'm making. Normally, it's on the title. So, open the box, pull it out, and of course, it has that white plastic bag over it, and it has a foam pad in the bag on top of the handheld to protect the buttons and sticks. When I picked it up out of the box, I set it in my hand like this, and the first thing I thought is there has to be a thin piece of cardboard back here because this feels really, really cheap. So I pulled it out the bag. No, there wasn't. It was just the plastic I was feeling. Now, when I pulled it out, I couldn't believe it. This plastic does not feel like Anbernic plastic. This feels like old Powkitty plastic. And when I say old Powkitty plastic, I mean Powkitty V90. Not V90S, original V90 plastic. Maybe slightly better, but not by much. Which was crushing right out the gate. I was hurt by it. I was like, really? $140 for this, and this is the plastic? I get that we're reusing old parts to keep costs down. But really? So I didn't like that. Well, I'll tell you this much. For the first 2 hours of this handheld, which was mostly setup, okay? That first 2 hours was mostly me setting it up. Not that setup takes 2 hours, but I was doing other stuff while files were transferring and whatnot. You know how that goes. So, getting the Pro version, it did have an internal SD card, which boots into Linux. But since I bought the Pro, I don't want to use Linux. I want to use my Android front end. I like Android front end. I have control over everything that way. I can save whatever I want, set it up how I want. I prefer an Android front end. So I pulled the SD card, considering it's whatever brand, and I don't trust that brand they ship with. It begins with a K. I'll never get the name right. Not that specific brand has ever failed on me. I just don't trust it. So scrap that. Put my own 128 in the external slot, set up, transfer all my stuff. Being Android, you do not get the Google Play Store, but you do get Chromium, which means you can go get Obtainium right there and get the rest of your front end. Since Obtainium, you can also get Digisho and everything through. Perfectly happy with that. I am playing with Isu, which my camera won't focus on it, but Isu right there. My camera's actually been frustrating me a lot because it will not focus for some reason today. Moving on. So I set up Digisho. I'm not done with Isu. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, getting the Pro, I want to use Android. I do. So, and I didn't bring the SD card, or I'd show you the Linux front end, but it's just a Linux front end. You've seen it in other videos as, you know, your games, RA games, it's normal, okay? Now, I will never use the Anbernic RG launcher. They don't update the RG launcher. It's the same trashy launcher it's always been. It works like shit. I don't like it. I don't like the look of it. I don't like the way any of it. It's like a beta build of Daigisho. I mean, even Retroid took, realistically, just a reskin Daigisho is what it looks like. But at least they didn't go with a beta build of it. You know, they got a decent build going, and it works. So I would use Retroid's launcher if I needed to. But the RG launcher is trash. Also, once again, like I've shown before, all the emulators that are, you know, on it are, well, trash. They're old, outdated, unused emulators. And they all have standalone emulators for everything, for Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy. But then there's RetroArch sitting there. So I trash all those and just use RetroArch cores. Why have all that, Anbernic? Oh, because you actually don't care about what comes on the handheld, because you know that the community will take care of it. Really, and it is kind of a negative towards, I love Anbernic, I do, but that part of it I don't like. So, moving on. Feeling like it's really cheap in the first 2 hours, I hated it. I hated it for those 2 hours. I was really pissed off. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm 0 for 2 this month. I pick up a mini long pocket and now this, and they're both kind of trash. Well, after that 2 hours, after using it, it started feeling less and less cheap. And that could just be the nerve damage in my hands, everyone. So keep that in mind, and everybody's going to be different. But it started to feel less and less cheap. I started to enjoy it more. I started to realize, even though initially grabbing it felt uncomfortable, it actually hasn't caused much fatigue in my hands using it. And then I started to realize that plastic's making it so much lighter. It works. So maybe that was the goal. And I know someone's out there saying, well, how much lighter could it really be? Maybe an ounce or two. Well, guys, at some point, that ounce or two becomes either too much or not enough. You know what I mean? Like, eventually, yeah, you get what I'm saying. So, I ended up starting to like it. Let's do a quick walk around. So we got our typical L and R, R1, R2, and these are really clicky. Both are, but they're a different type of clicky. So this one is your typical, and this one you can hear the switches, that mechanical clack, 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 clack. Now, both of them are very loud. That's not something that bothers me. It's never bugged me. I don't care if it's loud at all. I'm fine with that. So, but L and R work perfectly fine. Going across the top. Power, volume, which always bugs me that it's volume down then volume up. It always feels like it needed to be swapped. There's your little reset button. HDMI, you got your little light, charging port. Let's go straight across to the bottom where we got both SD card slots and a 3.5 jack. There you go, Anbernic. Stay clever. 3.5 on the bottom and 2 speaker grills, which, of course, every time I get a handheld, I'll listen to this one, make sure. And it sounds like it's 2. On the sides, absolutely nothing, because it's a Vita-style handheld, and that's where you're going to be pinching it. So they're not dumb enough to put something on the sides that will cause you to press anything. Nothing on the back except for plastic, and then outlined plastic and Anbernic's printing. And on the face, we got Anbernic D-pad here, which I say that, but it's not the typical Anbernic D-pad with the little arrows, the nice, comfortable one that we have all grown to love. That in the past people have said Anbernic's mastered the D-pad. They have just the perfect D-pad. I don't know why they're not using that one in this, but this D-pad isn't bad. I'd say slightly less than the normal D-pad they use. And if you're asking, it's a D-pad you'll find in a lot of their XX devices. We have the Anbernic launcher button, home and back button, select, start, which I really like start and select in a different area. I prefer start select or start select, you know what I mean? Because I like to set up start and select together as an exit button, and this is kind of a pain in the hit. It's doable, but it's a pain in the hit. Sticks. I actually like these sticks. They feel really smooth as I'm using them. And it's weird to describe, but they're really smooth. It's sometimes a little sensitive, but you can get used to it. It's not catching on anything. It's not grinding against any other plastic. Which some handhelds you get that when you move the stick, the post normally rubs up against something, and over time you get this plastic dust that accumulates around it. My AYN Loki, I had to put a little piece of electrical tape around the post to make it smooth out. This, you don't have that problem. You do have lighting. You can change this. Typical RGB. Pick a color if you want it to breathe, if you want it to follow, if you want it to do whatever. It's there. You have it. I'm turning it off for this video. Then, of course, in here you do have your RG launcher option, which nobody should use because it's trash. And then you can change your controller from Xbox to Nintendo layout. I normally stick with an Xbox layout. So yeah, face buttons. They're that glossy face button. Now, I don't like what I call skittle buttons, which are when the buttons are fully colored and they're that blue, green, you know, the full, these colors, but the full button's the color. I call them skittle buttons. I hate them. I hate them. The thing I hate right after that is these ones anyway, when they're rainbow colored. I don't think it fits the look of any of these handhelds. Maybe on a different, it just doesn't. You know, it doesn't even fit the white one. I gotta say, I don't care. It doesn't fit it. I would prefer a plain color here, but I will be looking to see if anybody does a button set for this, and then I'll probably change this to PlayStation buttons if I can, because I think this would look slick with PlayStation buttons. It'd bring that Vita or PSP thing kind of more accurate. So layout wise, it right off the bat, it doesn't feel comfortable, like I said, but it does get there. As you're using it, like I said, you'll notice no hand fatigue. Things are working. It's not that uncomfortable. Once you go in and get it set up and do your hotkeys in RetroArch and remove all the touch overlays for all the consoles, and you have it set up the way you want, the handheld gets super comfortable, super easy to use. Everything is saved, which bugs me about the mini long that you can't save any configuration. It just reverts back. What company would release that? Why would you do that? Test your own product. What the hell? Make everything unusable. Let's just keep pumping out trash, and other people review it and go, it's the greatest handheld in the world, and it's not. Sorry. Back up. Whew. Rg Vita Pro, not Mini Long Pocket 1. We're going to, calm down. Sorry. All right, back to this. Sorry, I got a lot going on with that right now. So, as I was playing it, I tested, of course, every system I wanted to. I will not be testing Vita 3K in this video. I'm sorry I waited this long to say so. I meant to say this at the beginning, not almost 13 minutes in. This thing is not meant for Vita gameplay. Look, Vita 3K isn't quite there anyway. This doesn't have the power to run Vita. Some people show it running like Persona 4. It might run some lower-end games, but I don't trust it long-term. I don't want to get 18 hours into a game and get to a cutscene or a battle or something that this can't handle and it keeps crashing on. I wouldn't play that game again for years. I'd be mad. I'd be done. So I'm not going to run Vita at all. Alright? But I did set up Daijijo. Every system I have on here I will test for you. And I did go as far as to test some PS2 games. Just for the hell of it. I'm not going to play any PS2 games for any amount of time on this, and I wouldn't trust it, once again, to play it at long term or try to beat any of the games, but I just wanted to have them on there for fun. Now, during my setup, I come across something that I've never encountered before. Super Nintendo was an issue. I've never had an issue with Super Nintendo. I've set up hundreds of handhelds. Never had a problem. This thing kept crashing the handheld. When I mean crashing, I mean fully power off, reset, go back into the home screen, turn back on, hop into a game, crashed again. I mean, full handheld freeze all the way to where it forced itself off and restarted. And that's what I mean, serious crash. I was very confused. So I deleted, uninstalled, removed everything Super Nintendo. And then redid it. And redid it the exact same way. And now it works fine. What changed? Absolutely nothing. So I don't know what that's all about, but if you're encountering a problem with this handheld where it's crashing on a certain system, apparently just get rid of everything that involves that system, the core, emulator, whatever. I use RetroArch, so I just went in, deleted the core, I didn't delete the games off the SD card, but I removed the platform off of here because the platform will save, what core it's using in the back end right down there, and you can see it. So, yeah, got rid of all that, and now it's working. So, let's talk about, real quick before I do gameplay, I did notice, and I don't do a lot of battery testing, but I did notice, and it felt like the battery was draining really fast as I was playing this. So yesterday I did a battery test. I put it to 100%. I put the handheld at 50% brightness at the time, and I turned on PSP. I was running 2x resolution, and in 30 minutes, I lost 14%. In an hour, I lost 28%. So it's staying about that 14% per half hour, 28% per hour. So giving you a little under 4 hours of gameplay off of a battery, off of a full charge. Now, I didn't check or pay attention to charging time, but I will say it doesn't feel like it takes a super long time to charge. I'm trying to see what it says. Yeah, adapter 5 volt, 5 to 9 volt, 18 watts. So it will charge quick. That's a good thing. Charging time is fast. All right, let's jump into Final Burn, Neil. Now, I wasn't here going through a bunch of different games. Because honestly, I have a huge list of Final Burn, but I haven't gone through many of them. So last night I was testing out a bunch of them. Now, if you guys remember with my Mengme Pocket or Mengme Air, I really enjoyed Final Burn on it, or arcade on it anyway. I had a lot of fun with it. I felt like it was meant for that. This became the same situation. I mean, it's nice. All right, we're going to turn up volume. So volume warning, 1, 2, 3. Both down-firing speakers. I mean, they are... And when you're holding it, you really do get a good stereo sound. So while you're holding it and staring at the handheld, you can really tell when the sound is coming out of the right or left speaker. It hits your ear just right. I don't know how thought out that was in this handheld, but wow, really well done. I mean, the most impressive sound quality I've ever had in a handheld was the ROG Ally. I really enjoyed the sound quality on that handheld when I was playing a game. It was just astonishing. And this isn't that level of good, but for a handheld of its cost, that's really, really impressive. The sound quality is really nice. I mean, it'll absolutely drive other people in the room crazy when they got to sit here and listen to it. And I don't know how much they can hear with the speakers aimed down or towards you. So, and of course I have all my RetroArch hotkeys set up so I can jump in and out of games really quickly. I love doing that. That's what I love about Android. And that's what made me so mad about the handheld I don't feel like talking about right now. Because hotkeys and configuration really needs to be saved. There's one thing that pisses me off above all else though. It's incremental save. Every handheld out there, when you do MuOS or whatever, they have incremental save on. So every time I use a save state, like if I go in, look, and I'm like, all right, I'm on save state 1, and I hit save state, it'll save it to 2. It increments up to 10 and starts over, erasing them as it goes. I don't like using save states that way. I use 1 to 2 save states and I save over them as I progress. I don't want all 10. I just want the ones I use. I hate that it does that. Now, I go in and turn it off every time, and I've gone through countless times on certain handhelds and saved that configuration, made that configuration my default, went into the front end, changed and turned off incremental save, made sure everything matched, saved it, and it'll still, when I restart the handheld, it'll go back to saving like that. That's terrible. Stop doing that. Let people turn that on by choice. So let's go into some Game Boy. It's a 16:9 screen, guys. We shouldn't. I mean, Game Boy is not something you really want to play on here. Does it function well? Yes. Does it look good? Yes. Okay, some are going to go, wait a minute, what? It looks good? This is not even close to the right aspect ratio. Right, I said it looks good. I didn't say it looked correct. I didn't say it looked accurate to the original. I said it looked good. Okay? Keep that in mind. I mean what I say. Yes, it looks good. I would play Game Boy like this. But you're talking to a guy that doesn't care about pixel perfect or integer scaling. If I have a large screen, I want to use that whole screen. I don't want bezels. I don't want shaders, overlay, mask, whatever. I don't want any of that. I want all game across the whole screen. I want to use every pixel of this screen. And I could do that with Game Boy. And you know what? It looks just fine to me. Are some of it stretched out? Yes. But I'm not getting this right up on my face and going, does that pixel look like it's a little stretched? Does it? I can't. Let me see. Compare it. I don't care. Looks good to me. So I'm going to do what I do. And there you go. There's that start and select at the same time to exit a game. Let's just go up one at a time here. That way you can see them all. Now this one I might have to use shaders on because that red is really pathetic and washed out and blown out. So I need to play with the color or the color palette in this and get that fixed. But it's fine. I was playing a little bit. Doing the thing, trying to make the money for the shovel, which I do right off the bat of this game. Also maybe because I like, punishing myself a little bit. But I do like mowing this whole lawn like that. You know what I mean? Like doing it in a pattern and trying to keep the pattern and see how many cuts it takes to get the whole thing. I mean, seriously, where's the ROM hack of a Zelda game called Link's Lawn Mowing Service? I'd play that. I mean, just to be completely honest. But yeah, so fix the color palette, and just like Game Boy, it looks good. Not accurate, not perfect, but looks good to me. I'd play the hell out of this. Okay? I'm not picky. I just want to use the whole screen. Now, if you guys remember, Anbernic had that 476H. They used it in the slide, the 477, things like that. They built that screen for 4x3 content, which is realistically just unmatched right now. As much as INEO tries, they just keep regurgitating the Pocket Air mini screen and acting like it's something special, and it's not. The only screen that compares to it is the handheld I hate right now, which is the last handheld I bought, which I'm having issues with, because that screen is absolutely beautiful for a 4-inch screen. But Anbernic's purpose-built screen makes 4x3 content look amazing. You are staring right now at the same situation, but 16:9. It feels like this 16:9 screen is purpose-built for this handheld, and it makes so much stuff look so good. I thought I had fast forward set up. Anyway, you guys get it. Did not mean to do that. Hold on. Let's play something that I can just get into really quick. It's weird that I need to reset the hotkey, maybe? Unless I changed it, but that should be fast forward. Whatever. Allergies are getting to me, man. My nose itches. But I mean, even GBA does not look terrible on here. Look at this. I mean, the color's not awful. It's not as washed out as like Game Boy Color, but I would play the hell out of GBA on here. Run some Summon Night Swordcraft Story. This feels like a good screen for that. I mean, it really is an impressive screen. It's not the most beautiful screen out there, but it feels custom and purpose built for this handheld. You have the soul of a hero. I'm back in my purple underwear. All my guys, they have purple hair because of where their heads were at. Straight up my purple ass. Anyway, so you get the idea. GBA looks good. Let's do some Genesis. Where are you? My test game for Genesis. There it is. Comic Zone. I like Comic Zone as a test game for Genesis. Mainly because of the wide variety of colors in that opening scene. It really helps you kind of get an idea. I mean, I just like it. And it's a simple little beat 'em up. And you can get to the action pretty quick. But look, red, blue, green, white, yellow, everything's present on screen. And man, that looks good. Volume test going all the way up in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to skip the items and just jump into this. Ooh, get some. Volume going back down. Anyway, Genesis, looking good, running good, feeling good. Love it. All right, moving on. Let's jump into some N64. I need to find a good game to just fire up on N64. I don't think I've ever played this. Let's fire up Castlevania. Unless I never mapped controls, which I thought I mapped controls. I guess I've never mapped controls. Well, you get the idea. N64. It runs. It looks fine. Yeah, it's N64. N64 and 16:9. The colors are fine. It looks fine. It plays okay. The joysticks are sensitive, so once you get used to that, N64 will, you'll be able to play it. It's, yeah. Are you going to buy this as an N64 handheld? No. Why would you? I mean, if you do, that's on you, and whatever you come across for that, that's your fault. Oh yeah, we're going to volume test that. Going up. Let's get the music over. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Zelda getting with it. Alright, gonna kill the volume a little bit. When I was a kid, I always thought you killed this guy when you grabbed the sword. Like, this is an accident. Like, oh, thanks, Grandpa. Whack! But I can tell you, I really enjoy regular Nintendo on this screen. The last time I really enjoyed Nintendo or had a handheld that made me want to play Nintendo was high-end verticals like the DMG, the RP Classic, things like that. Big 4-inch screens on the 40XX. Those always make me want to play Nintendo games because they look great. But man, with the sound quality of this thing and the screen being not perfect and stretched out and pixels being everywhere, I love it. And you know what? I play the hell out of some Nintendo on this, I'll tell you that much. And of course I keep left analog forced on so I can use it if I want. But like I said, it's really sensitive and sometimes makes it hard to aim on certain games. But other games that really need an analog stick, this analog stick does it, man. It does it. You know, I'm just going to go back. Oh, just hit that. Alright, moving on. Neo Geo Pocket Color. How's it look? How's it run? Well, it better run fine because it's Neo Geo Pocket Color. How's it look? The colors are nice looking. I'm really bad at Neo Geo games. I'm so bad at Neo Geo games. Oh, anyway, colors look right. Do they look just beautiful? No, why would they? It's Neo Geo Pocket Color. They didn't look that great when it was new. I mean, it was mind-blowing for the time, but for us, not really. I mean, do love me some Neo Geo Pocket Color. I'm not talking shit at all. I love Neo Geo Pocket Color. I still want one of those handhelds in my collection. And I'm constantly looking for a good one. Because you always see them go online, but when you flip it over, it has two little battery cover things. Those are always missing. Or they're a 3D printed version. So when I find one in a good color I like, with a screen that's not just scratched to hell with the battery covers, I'll probably get one for my collection. Which is a mistake because the games are ridiculously expensive. Yeah, let's go. So, I always test NBA Street and Final Fantasy 12. Final Fantasy 12, like I've said before, I was able to get this to run on my Retroid Pocket 2 Plus. So yes, it runs here just fine. However, NBA Street is my low-end test for a lot going on the screen. You know what I mean? A lot of action going on the screen, a lot of things moving, a lot of moving parts. So I use NBA Street to test that. If NBA Street will run decently, then I know I could trust it to play some low-end RPGs all the way through. It should run fine. I don't remember what I set up as. There we go. So that's kind of my go-to test, right? I really gotta, I gotta go in and fix this. I didn't map the controls, which is normally the first thing I do, but I got stuck doing something else with this handheld. I just haven't talked about it yet. Anyway, so Final Fantasy 12 always runs really smooth. It's just, there's not, as good as the game looks, if you pay attention, there's not a whole lot going on past the painted background. Okay, there's not. So the game typically runs fine. Now, like I've said before, will it run late game with all the missed abilities, limit breaks, and giant enemies, and a lot going on in the super, graphic movies? I have no idea. But that's why I do the NBA Street test. Because if I could run a game of NBA Street, and it hold a frame rate and it not lag out and not cause problems, and I could play through, one game, then I'll trust it to play a little into Final Fantasy 12. I will trust it to go, and I'll actually put time into it then. So let's do this. Well, of course, I don't have a save state. I need to go in and map the controls, which I'm not going to do on here. All right, we get it. We get it. NBA teams. Yep, it's EA, it's sports, it's EA Sports. Sorry, I got alarms getting ready to go off. I gotta turn that off. Okay. All my review videos are way too long. Yeah, we're just trying to get into it, people. Because I want to show you guys whether or not this should run Final Fantasy 12 long term. I've used this as a test for a long time, and typically that test has worked out for me. It's my own comparison test, I guess. NBA Street runs, if I can play a game without it lagging or running slow or running, 10 FPS, I can trust it. You can already hear it. Let me turn on the volume. Look at this. Super slow. It is running ridiculous. I'd throw on an FPS counter, but there's no point. It's probably running 20, which means not going to play that, not going to play that, not going to play PS2 on it at all. So I'll be removing those in the long run. Okay, let's jump past those two and go into SNES here. Play some Super Nintendo. Let's just turn on Super Double Dragon here. Kind of sounds like Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, Super Nintendo. It's Super Nintendo. The colors look good. I actually like stuff like this on a 16:9 screen. It doesn't bother me. It looks really good on here. What can I say? Anyway, boop. Super Nintendo looks great on a 16:9 screen. That's always been my opinion. I love that. Let's jump into PS1. Because now we're getting more into the systems that drug me in over the weekend. And this is almost in order of those. Super Nintendo third, because I really like Super Nintendo on this 16:9 screen. Before that, regular Nintendo. I was having fun with that on this screen. After Super Nintendo, I started really, really enjoying, PS1. Oh, that's right. This is Duck Station. Okay, I don't have anything loaded. I mean, I know my camera's not focusing well, but just how smooth like this fin is and that fin is on the glider, how smooth everything is, the shading, it's wonderful. Okay? And 16 by 9 on this screen, on this little Vita handheld, PS1 through Duck State. I mean, it is so smooth. The edges are all refined. I mean, I'm sorry, I got it out of the screen because I'm looking at it. Because those details, that little bit of detail is just amazing. It looks great. I mean, and as you're getting into this, my first comment of the cheap filling plastic, it's a non-issue as you use it. Now it'll be an issue the moment you hand it to a buddy and go check this shit out. They're gonna go, that is cheap. But then they're gonna use it and forget all about that. They're gonna get into it and go, wow, this looks good. It handles good. The buttons are good. The sticks are good. The D-pad's good. The sound is probably the best sound quality in an Anbernic handheld in a while. Of the ones I've used, people, don't come at me for the handhelds I haven't used. But for some reason, the sound on this is amazing. But PS1, it really is. I can see playing through almost the entire PS1 library on this handheld. And absolutely love it. Now, for just the top, just what absolutely did it for me, and it's not even a surprise, was PSP. Like I said, I didn't really enjoy the handheld for the first 2 hours. I got lost a little in arcade. I really started enjoying Nintendo. Super Nintendo kind of took up a little bit of time. PS1 hooked me. But then I started playing PSP on this handheld. And there's no better handheld on the market to play PSP. Okay? I have to tell you that. There's not. This is the best handheld I've encountered for PSP that Anbernic sells, that anybody sells. And it does kind of hurt to say that. Well, I was going to compare it to my PSP Go, and I was even going to turn on GBA on the PSP Go to show you like some random differences in screen, gameplay, whatnot. And PSP is not really a big difference. It's going to look better on here than it is here. Color's going to be better here than it is here. But then I was going to also show you GBA using like fire red as the opening screen to test the reds and yellows. And actually these two are very close with color saturation, except this one everything is a little fuzzy because of the screen. So it's kind of got a haze, like it's just slightly out of focus, whereas this one everything is crisp, clear, and in focus. But it was just showing you that the Go still has so many uses and is such a viable handheld today. Playing GBA on it, PSP, you know what I mean? But sadly, you can get 2-3 of these for the cost of this. Now for the other comparison. We're going to speed this one up because I want to get to this. Okay. Come on, get to where you're talking to her. Okay, we're just going to let Kratos get beat on. Brighter for sure. But look at the crispness here, how the crisp Yes, the sharpness of it. The red on his skin. The color is more yellow here. This feels a little more accurate on the Vita Pro, whereas this feels not the way it should be. It's bright, it's gorgeous, but this looks really good. And of course you get those clicky buttons. It's just amazing. I mean, of course these are clicky too, but they don't have quite the same click. Right? Let's just do this. Really? Okay, I do still have that in there. I mean, yeah, this is brighter. It does make this feel a little more washed out. I mean, it's a little blown out with the brightness, and this does feel more accurate. And this is not me just favoring one over the other. Oh. The colors are darker here. I mean, which is what I've been saying. This has a little more yellow, it looks like. And the screens are about very close to being the same. I didn't look up the specs to see which was the exact same, but edge to edge, you're right on with each other. Weight, they're close to the same. The plastics feel better here. I think the screen's better here. The buttons are very close to the same. I like this D-pad better. I think I like these sticks better on the Vita. So better sticks, better D-pad, better screen. L and R buttons are about the same. This has, you know, better ergonomics. I mean, just insanely better ergonomics. Sound test going on. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Sound test on this one. 3, 2, 1. The Mengme definitely gets louder. But in person, I feel like the quality, if you omit this getting louder and don't take that as quality, okay, just because it gets louder doesn't mean it's better quality. But in person, I think the sound quality is better here on the Vita Pro, but this is very close, okay? This is very, if you have this sound quality is very close to it. This is slightly better, so just turn this up and understand this doesn't get as loud, but the quality is there. I guess the biggest downfall here and what you're going to have to fight with is price. Okay, because this is going to be your competitor to this. The Mengme Air X is amazing for the cost. I love this handheld. It feels good. It looks good. I don't like the glossy D-pad. That was a dumb design choice. Other than that, this handheld is wonderful. I love having it in my office. It's always here. It's reliable. This thing has already, I mean, it has been put through the paces. This has tons of gameplay on it, and it is just a champ. Okay? I mean, you are not wasting money with this. All right? This is $40 more. I do think the screen is better and justifies a little bit more of a cost. Okay? I don't think it's worth $140. This should have been Anbernic's $100 competitor. Right here. And the regular RG Vita should have been in the $60 category, closer to the XX line. But this absolutely should have been their $100 competitor handheld. Not $140. Do I feel ripped off, though? Okay? That's the biggest part. Is not, is it too expensive, is it too cheap, whatever. How do you feel when you bought it? Do you feel like you overpaid? Even if you did, do you feel like it? Do you feel like you're getting your money's worth? Is what you got to look for. No handheld is perfect. And you can hit the comments and say, this one is, this one is, this one is. No, they're not. Okay? The closest to perfect for me right now, like for top end, is like the AYN Thor. But if at any point in time you're using a handheld that you think is perfect and you go, man, I wish I could do this, or man, I wish this was a little more ergonomic, or man, only if they would have done this, it's not perfect. If you would make a change, it's not perfect. Do I feel ripped off after $140 plus shipping? No, I don't. I don't think it's for everybody. I don't think any, if you're on a budget and you want good PSP, and if you want a good 16:9 screen, this is perfectly acceptable for $100. If you want it to look like a Vita, a classic, 1000 Vita, then go for this. This has the better screen, better sound, better D-pad, better sticks. This has the better price, which is huge. Good sticks. The D-pad's way better ergonomics. Not that this one hurts your hands, but this one won't hurt your hands because you have something to grab onto. It's a tough comparison, and this is where Anbernic kind of fell flat on their face, is pricing. Like I said, I get reusing old stuff to keep prices down, but both models of the RG Vita were overpriced by $40 actually. Sadly. So I'm gonna exit this, move the Mangmi off. Mangmi, I love you. You did such a good job with this. I haven't used your other handheld because honestly that one's way too expensive for what you're giving people, and I don't see a reason to buy it. That other one's an absolute waste of money. I've never used it, so that's just, take that at face value. But the Air X is their bread and butter, and you can't go wrong for $100 here. Everybody should have one of these in the collection. Back to this. Playing PSP on it, I got lost in this for hours. I mean, hours I got lost in this. I really enjoyed everything about it. How could you not? You know what I mean? And when you first get it, like I said, you're going to look at it and go, okay, Retro Legion lied his ass off. Have I ever? Did I ever lie to you? No, I always give you my opinion, how I feel. Is it how you feel? No. Is it your opinion? No, it's mine. Should we agree on everything? Absolutely not. Form your own damn opinion. This is mine. But I'm always going to give you the truth. I'm not going to get a handheld and tell you it's wonderful when it's not. I'm going to try and cover the things other people don't cover or pay attention to. Why? Because most of those other people are like me, and they have a closet full of handhelds or a cabinet full of handhelds like I do. But I actually use every one of mine. Every one of them have hours of gameplay. Because I do the same thing I did to this one. This handheld came in, I gamed on it all weekend. Got this handheld, gamed on it all weekend. And they also go in my rotation. I rotate through all my handhelds. One, for maintenance and upkeep. Turn them on, use them a little bit, drain the battery, charge it, whatever. So I cycle through all my handhelds and constantly use them. So I'm going to discover the small things other creators won't because they have so many, and they probably have, 1 through 4 that they typically cycle through. A clamshell, a vertical, a whatever, whatever. Since I cycle through all of them, I use them all, and they all, have hours of use on them. But that's where I find stuff others won't, because they get these in. This was sent to me by whoever, Lit NXT, Mech DIY. And they're going to, they probably used it for a little bit. But did they switch through multiple games? Did they save each game? Did they turn the handheld off, go back to it? Did they play on it? Wife called you, be right back, come back, pick it up. I mean, you're going to discover a lot about a handheld the more you use it, because you'll find yourself in different situations. Carrying it through the house, setting it down so you can go take a leak, come back, pick it up. Is it annoying the wife in the room while she's over there playing Minecraft with the kids? No? Yes? Maybe? Is it too much? Is it too little? But that's where my reviews come into play, because I'm testing all this out. I got a wife and 3 kids. My house is crazy. It's always, hey, honey, can you help me with this? Dad, can you help me with this? Can you do this? And you guys know, if you have kids, they're not very functional, and you're looking at your teenager going, how can you not open a door? Or when I go, can you get this for me? And you're like, what? Why? Well, I'm carrying something. Set it down. Do what you need to do. Pick it back up. It's like they don't think. But, through that type of life, I get to try all aspects of these handhelds and give you my honest review, my honest opinion, and what I honestly think, which that's something that'll never change in my handheld. And when I do a review and it's negative, I get a lot of hate. But I'm going to keep taking that, I'll keep taking those shots for everybody that wants an honest review. Let's see. We've lost 12% while shooting this video. Luckily, we're using, because this video is about an hour long. Well, no, I charged it all night. Oh, I had it on before right before the video, so we've lost 17%. Not too bad, considering we weren't running much and it set idle a lot. Mixed reviews on the battery. It's going to depend on brightness, resolution, all that stuff. Anyway, let's wrap this up. So, Anbernic Rg Vita Pro. What are my final thoughts? It's not worth $140, but it is. I hated it, but then absolutely loved it. I can see this being one of my top 10 handhelds of the year, which is that's saying a lot. Okay, that is saying a lot. There's a lot of the year left. You never know, but right now, this grew on me in 2 hours, really quickly. It felt like I was going to have to learn to love it. It happened without me knowing. It became a handheld I really enjoy. If you like the PSP or PS Vita aesthetic, you're used to this kind of a layout where it's flat and it doesn't hurt your hands, you're going to get some enjoyment out of this. You're going to love it. I think the regular Vita is a waste of money. Go ahead and spend the extra. Look at this side-by-side spec comparison on Anbernic's website, and you'll see the little differences. But I really think, why not? Just get the bigger one. Use Android as a front end. Unless you like Linux, nothing wrong with that. I got Linux handhelds, but I felt like using Android. Why not? I like Obtainium, and I wanted to play with ISU. Not done on that. We'll discuss that later. It won't run Vita. Please, 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 no matter what you see out there, don't trust it to run Vita. Don't buy it to run Vita. Please buy it as a dedicated PSP handheld, and you are going to love it. Okay? It'll cost you less than this little guy, although this little guy is absolutely amazing. It'll cost you $40 more than this guy, which is absolutely amazing. Yeah. Well, let me know in the comments, do you have an Rg Vita? Do you have an Rg Vita Pro, which is the only one you should have, because the regular, like I said. If so, what are your thoughts? Are you looking into buying one of these? Did you want me to test something I didn't test? If so, let me know in the comments. I will post a link to my Discord server, which I try to stay on and monitor and be there for help and to answer questions for everybody. That way, if you want something, you can get it in real time. If you're like, hey man, can you test this game really quick on the Vita Pro? I'm about to purchase it, and I want to know how well it runs this game. I'll test it right there. You may not get a video, but you're going to get live response from me where 20, 30 minutes later, I'm like, all right, I tested that game. It sucks. Don't buy it. Or, all right, I tested that game, and actually it looks really good. You should probably buy it. I'm always there for that. So that link will be in the description. Come on by. It's not a high-pressure situation. I mean, most of the time we don't even chat that much. We all just hang out, and if you need something, we're there. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to wrap this up. Go Game Geek sent me out a replacement for the Mini Long Pocket 1. They sent tracking late last night. I'll let you guys know how that works out. They are doing a lot to make amends, so I will update my post warning everybody about Go Game Geek. Am I going to go back on my word and feel like I've been, kind of sold out to them for doing that? No, but I strive to be honest, so I'm going to give my honest feedback with whatever they're doing. We'll see. They're sending me the handheld. Let's see if they really do. Upcoming this week, I have some plans for stuff. I ordered some stuff that we're going to play with, accessory that might help with certain issues. We talked about that a little at the end of last week. That'll be up and coming. And as long as I'm here and not being shipped off to Wisconsin for work, we will continue to do what we do. Sorry this video was so long. You know how it goes. Since I can see my dashboard, I know most of you only stay for 8 minutes, so we're 52, 53 minutes further in than most of you stay. So for those of you that took off at about the 6 to 8 minute mark, haha, you're not here. I could talk all the trash I want. I'm kidding. All right, see you guys later in the week. Have a good Monday.